What's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here, and we're here with another history video. Gonna be got this one, and gonna be having another one coming at you a little bit later, along with there's also another video as well. We will be getting back to reading. Excuse me, some more of Yumeko. We will get back to more audio readings of that, but don't but we're gonna stop to do these couple of history videos because just released that video about that Flora re-edit with that Britney Spears song and everything, and it kind of gave me some ideas for what's going in Yumeko, which you'll see as we go further along in the series. What's going to be coming up of her. However, the history will probably give you a little bit of an idea of what it might possibly be. But it will be confirmed when we get to it in the series. So, before we go into this, just want to let y'all know, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Get you some available books, which includes Yumeko. Yeah, only $7 each, just like the other books that we have as well. So definitely get you one of those. $3 for shipping and handling, of course. And also definitely super thanks or special thanks on any of these videos, and give us some love on that Patreon, just like our boy AJ the Supreme. So now that we've done that, definitely check out his channel. And also, one thing I may have forgotten to mention in previous videos. Also, make sure you check out Casey's channels as well. Channel as well. It is in the description box. The link to her channel, and say different things that she's characters that she's given to our stories and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely give her channel a look at, as well as EJ the Supreme. So you're definitely gonna want to check out his channel. He's got stuff about WrestleMania. There is a possibility that I may have a little something to say about that in a future video. You never know. I just might. But definitely be sure to check that out. I look at the first two of his WrestleMania reviews. So hoping to see a little bit more, see what he got going on. I will admit I'm not a big into wrestling, but I still took a look, because like I say, from what he said in the review, it did kind of spark my interest a little bit there. So yeah, definitely check it out, especially if you're a wrestle fan. You're definitely gonna love what he's got to say. So, and definitely, like I say again, Casey's channel, got some pretty good stuff on it there, and we'll be getting some really good stuff from her in the future as well, with character wise. So now let's dive right on in to the history of Flora and Shanice. Oh yeah, so I got two of them there. You probably seen on the thumbnail, but I'm definitely gonna show you here. Flora and Shanice, yes. Yeah, these two are going to be two of the characters that have already been introduced in Yumeko. Shanice sort of toward the end of book one. Flora was introduced right at in the first chapter with Samuel and Hiko. But where did these two characters come from, you ask? Before going into what they're going to do as the story progresses, we want to know where they come from, just like the previous history videos, like Brownie and Hiko and Samuel and all, and so on and so on. So what's the deal with with Flora and Shanice? So let's go back to when they first came to be. Shanice actually was the one that came first, as far as idea wise. Surprisingly, even though I said Flora and Shanice, but Shanice actually showed up first, and wasn't in anything that was published officially, but before the published Heroes of Dream series, there was a kind of a prototype of Heroes of Dreams. Some of it kind of was intended to be a little dark, Now, understand that there are some series and stuff that do tend to get dark, even if they are meant to be lighthearted. They can have some dark moments. Some of that has even been, what's been published of Heroes of Dreams. Had a light tone, but it did have some dark sides, like the story with Sword Girl and everything. Um, and as well as also the story with Calvin, aka Venom X, which that's a history video we got to get to as well in another video. But yeah, there were some dark sides there to that, even though it was lighthearted, kind of similar to Static Shock. You know how they had, dark moments in what started off as sort of a light and colorful superhero film. Even at the very beginning, with the whole thing with the Big Bang and everything. So with Shanice, the thing was in the prototype Heroes of Dreams. This and long before Christina had started the Bubblina series that she's writing the novel series of now, and also has a comic version of it. Well, before she took over that, became like the Patty Jenkins, the Wonder Woman kind of deal. Bubblina was a part of Heroes of Dreams. Of course, even long before then with Star Striker series and the following Dream League series, she of course was called Bubble Girl. But then got changed to Bubblina as the Magical Mermaid, along with the other superheroes back then. So, the thing was that there was going to be a point in the storyline that was going to be kind of dark. That the Dream League, which Star Striker, Target, Venom X, Bubblina, and Sword Girl were going to run into a group of harpies. Some of y'all watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably know about Harpy Lady, kind of like that, or just the basic Greek mythology of harpies in general. The winged ladies. So, yeah, that was the thing. It was going to be harpies that would show up, and the thing was they had a major beef with the merfolks there, with the Atlanteans there. That's Bubblina and her people. That's pretty much were Atlanteans of the ocean and everything. So yeah, harpies and Atlanteans and merfolks didn't really like each other, and sort of had this all-out war with one another. So they sort of went at each other. Dream League kind of tried to get things where like, hey, can y'all stop and stuff like that. Didn't really remember much of the details of how and what, but I do know a few things. There was Shanice, of course, that was known as Darkina, the Harpy Princess. And Shanice was the name of her civilian form when she was, in regular human form, regular civilian human form. And she sort of had developed an interest with Brian, aka Target. However, this interest was more so to pretty much get sort of an advantage against the Dream League as well as Bubblina, sort of to kind of get one up on her. Of course, they would find out, about this and stuff, and then of course, now. Another thing that kind of came to my mind when I came up with this was also the thing with Justice League with Hawkgirl, how she had betrayed the Justice League at the end of the Justice League series, right before they went into Justice League Unlimited with the whole Thanagarian invasion. Then, of course, there was also the thing of Terra betraying Beast Boy and Teen Titans. Probably more so like the Justice League scenario, because despite Darkina's betrayal, there would be, some time pass where she would kind of rejoin the Dream League to try to earn the trust back and try to be, somewhat of a hero again, kind of change her ways kind of thing. A little bit of a redemption, sort of like what Hawkgirl went through in Justice League Unlimited, trying to redeem herself. And obviously, when you're trying to change your ways, a lot of time it's not going to be an easy task. And a lot of times, depending on what you may have done in the past that you're trying to redeem yourself of, there are going to be some people that's going to doubt you and not be quick to, come around to, okay, yeah, you're forgiven. Yeah, it is a thing, Like I say, I know they say forgiveness is divine. You're supposed to forgive people, but duly know it's not an easy thing. It's not impossible, but it's not easy though. And humanly speaking, yeah, we do have trouble with this. There, like I say, the human in us. Um, so like I say, there would be a bit of that going on in stories after that. Earning the Dream League's trust again, especially with Bubblina and Brian. Especially Bubblina because of the whole, like you say, earlier war of the Merfolk and the Harpies and stuff. There, and it's sort of reminds you of this scene. I got to quote this scene from Justice League Unlimited. Shire. I know what it was. Diana's holding a grudge. She'll get over it. How about you carrying anything? Oh, Shire? Oh, we cool. We're giving each other our space. I'm seeing Vixen now. I'm very happy, by the way. Anyway, why do we always have to talk about my relationship problems? What's going on with you and Diana? Nothing. I don't have time to pursue a relationship. My work is too important. My work is way too important. Diana's a trusted friend. She's a respected colleague. She's standing right behind me, isn't she? Yeah. So, yeah, I had to quote that scene there. So, yeah, pretty much get the idea of where that went there. Yeah, it was. So that was pretty much the only thing of Shanice, aka Darkina, there. There was also now of course the story, like I say, was based from, Hawkgirl and Justice League and Terror and Teen Titans combination. But where did the idea of just Shanice, aka Darkina, come from? That idea actually derived from Miley Cyrus. Yeah, the thing. So how that happened? Okay, we all know Hannah Montana, of course. Of course, Miley Cyrus left Hannah Montana. She wanted to, do other things. Leave the, as we call, the kiddie stuff behind and be more adult because she's grown. Much like a lot of stars, and a lot of stars do pretty well going, stepping up. Some, yeah, but you do have successes, and then again, everybody, and then just, let's be honest, everybody's going to have some ups and downs regardless. So, go through some stuff and stuff like that. But like I say, granted, yeah, it's wanting to do other stuff. It's not a bad thing. Just gotta be careful what you do. That's all. So, yeah, that's the only thing. Just be careful what you get into. Whether you're doing the kiddie stuff or you're trying to be more adult. So, just be careful. As my granny say, y'all be careful out there now. So yeah, Miley Cyrus's thing of getting more adult. One of the things she did an album called Can't Be Tamed. As well as and of course there is a song on that album, Can't Be Tamed. It sort of kind of makes me think of one of Bow Wow's albums with songs on it like was it Let Me Hold You and Do You. Stop trying to be me, stop trying to do what you see. Yeah, so kind of similar to that album, especially that song. A lot of the first songs on that album was, speaking out against the system, trying to be who she was, which I guess if any of y'all know about stuff behind the scenes with her, during the days of Hannah Montana leading up to when she, went on her own. Yeah, you probably the creation of this album makes a lot of sense. Yeah, sort of like comedians telling their story through their comic act, pretty much telling you their life story. So, yeah, Miley's albums, especially after leaving Disney, pretty much tells her, what she's went through leading up to this point. So, yeah, I ain't gonna say all the albums. Well, maybe so, but there are some albums I'm not too fond of. But Can't Be Tamed, yeah, I did like that album from the adult Miley. Yeah, that was. I actually feel like that was a really good album. It was really edgy, but I definitely was, like, hey, I dig it, like what she's trying to say. It's a liberty walk. Don't try to control me. You don't own my heart. And yeah, obviously, straight up tell them I can't be tamed. Don't try to be controlling me. Yeah, you hear? Don't try to do like Mary controlling, brainwashing Joey and Yu-Gi-Oh. or in Millennium World with Priest Seto was being brainwashed by his own father, Akhenaten. Seto, you must serve the Lord of Darkness. Zork will usher in a new age. uh, so yeah, with the Can't Be Tamed song, it was a music video. This is what got the creation of Darkina. In the video, everybody was gathered around this cage, like like when you go to the zoo, you see exhibits of animals and stuff like that. But in this cage, wasn't just another animal. It was Miley herself, in all black, sort of goth style, with some black wings, and everybody's like, oh, 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 but you get the idea. They were all in amazement, and they had a little humor to that there. But yeah, they were all in amazement of her, and then of course she broke into a song. Her other backup singers came and stuff like that. Can't be tamed, and so yeah, it was really digging it, and that gave me the idea of the character Darkina, the Dark Harpy Princess. So, that's where that come from, and of course when she was in this just regular human form, Shanice, yeah, Shanice. I'm trying to think what was. Oh yeah, I think Shanice. I think because I actually I might not, you probably don't believe that I actually did this video before. This is actually a redo of a video of the first take. It was I think I want to say Shanice. Well, I don't think I did have a last name back then, but I did come up with a last name for Shanice later. We're gonna get to that. So yeah, don't really know what her last name was back then. But that was pretty much, that's pretty much how I came up with her, and that was pretty much the thing going on with her back in the Dark Heroes of Dreams. Shanice never really did surface into the published Heroes of Dream, but Darkina did. However, before Darkina did, Flora showed up in Heroes of Dreams in book number 2. She was a redhead, and she was working with 2 mutants named Puma and Racker, who were helping Rexon, who was sort of a T-Rex mutant, capture Star Striker, find out who he was, as well as get what was called the Project Starman battle suit. That battle suit was actually Star Striker's costume. It was sort of, I guess you could say, sort of nanotech kind of thing. So it had all the different gadgets and stuff like that. So they wanted to get it from him, as well as find out who he was after what had happened in book 1 when he first debuted. They actually did manage to capture him while he was battling Puma and Racker. Flora blasted Star Striker with a laser blaster, but they didn't capture him right away. What they did, she put a hairpin tracer into his hair so that they would find him when he wasn't in the battle suit, when he was just regular Samuel, and capture him much easier. So they did that, and eventually they did, but they didn't capture Samuel. What happened was, Samuel was skateboarding to Brian's house, and Brian was of course with him, and he tripped on a pothole, causing it to fall out of his hair. Brian picked it up, and they said they was wondering where it came from. And suddenly, while they were discussing, Flora, Puma, and Racker showed up and captured Brian by mistake, thinking he was Star Striker, and had changed his hair. Yeah. So they were trying to interrogate him. Rexon pretty much played bad cop because he was all up in Brian's face, trying to get him to to give up the Project Starman battle suit. Brian had no idea what he was talking about, but he did have this to say: "Ugh, you ever consider a mint or brushing your teeth? Your breath smells like pickle juice and dog poop." Ugh. Don't get me started if his breath smelled like chitlins. Ooh, that's a stinky smell, chitlins. I do not like no chitlins. Some of y'all may like chitlins. Don't get mad at me for hating it. I can't stand it. Okay, if you like chitlins, that's fine. That's you. Don't get mad at me in the comment section. Ooh, how you really gonna like no chitlins, boy? You don't eat no chitlins, boy? Ooh, so anyway, yeah, breath was stinky. So, of course, Samuel, aka Star Striker, did come to rescue Brian. Of course, Flora tried to get the information out of Brian via being good cop by offering him cupcakes and stuff. One thing also, when I read book 2 of Heroes of Dream, people in the live stream said way back then said that Flora made them think of Angelica from the Rugrats there, but with red hair. Interesting. So yeah, so there was but of course Star Striker showed up, got Brian out of there. Brian found out who Star Striker was, and Brian became target, and the two of them took them down, and along with Rexon, who became a giant T-Rex, but they still were able to defeat him. And that was the last that you heard of Flora and her crew. So then go ahead. Let's go ahead. Book number 6, Into the Dream League. Book number 7 after that introduced us to Dashtail, and the reason I'm pointing this out about Dashtail because his civilian name, of course, Riley Jones, which was actually Riley Jones was actually a kid that I had met while I was writing book number 6. His mother came to me and wanted me to put him in one of my books. They had been reading some of my previous books, and he wanted to be in it back then. So I was like, okay, let me get book number 6 finished, and we can work something out here. So after book 6 was completed, that's how we got him into book number 7. His first name Riley was Riley Jones in real life. I'm not gonna say his last name, but his actual name was Riley in real life. He wanted his first name to be used in it. So we did. So like Raven Baxter is actually Raven Simone. So after that story, book number 8 came out, and this is where we actually focused on Riley's sister. She had also been introduced in book 7 along with Riley as new students at the school where Samuel and Brian went to. So then we decided to, make her one of the heroes. And the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, and of course, now with Riley's sister, her whole name was different in Heroes of Dream. It was Zoe Jones. Not going to say her real name for protection of identity, but yeah, Zoe Jones was her name in the book. And so it was a whole matter of, okay, well, let's make Zoe a superhero as well, since, Riley's a superhero. Thing with that was she got invited to a sleepover with Bubblina, met up with some of her Atlantean friends, had Alicia, Holly, Gina, and Crystal. Now, only two of those, as I think only one of them, Alicia, is of course used in the Bubblina comics, but she's a lot different there than she is in Heroes of Dream. Matter of fact, some of her ways from Bubblina comics are a little bit in the character Crystal, which is kind of ironic. But her fashion sense is both Alicia's in Heroes of Dream and Bubblina comics do have the same fashion sense, though. So, and then of course, Holly was kind of was sort of the blueprint of what would be used for the character Nicole in the Bubblina comics, somewhat. Which I think, yeah, which of course Christina had a different person in mind when she came up with the character Holly, but it is sort of similar. I mean, with the character Nicole, but she sort of is similar to Holly from Heroes of Dreams. And as with Gina, well, find out about her later. About her much in later videos. So, let's keep going with Zoe. So at the sleepover, Bubblina's friends are kind of suspicious about Zoe. Because on their way over, they heard a prophet merman, which looks like Morgan Freeman dressed as Moses. The dark one is coming, and you must prepare for the arrival, because she will bring a great evil with her. Beware of the dark one. Pretty much all Yoda-like and everything. So. Yeah, they were suspecting that Zoe was either this Dark One or she may have had a connection with the Dark One. Bubblina was not too happy about, when she actually caught on to their suspicions and everything, and when they actually came out and told her, unaware that Zoe overheard them and sort of misinterpreted. Well, not so much misinterpreted, but didn't hear the whole conversation, and of course swam off, sort of like how when Shrek heard only part of the conversation between Fiona and Donkey, thinking that she was, bad-mouthing him, and felt really sad about it. So Zoe swims off. She's in an emotional state. She started to have a flashback to when her mother revealed that she was adopted, and turns out she had come from an egg. But they weren't for sure how or why this happened. And Zoe had, ever since that happened, this was actually when she was 6 years old, and ever since her mother had told her this, being honest about, how they got her and everything, she tried to dismiss this in her mind to herself, that that night that her mom told her that must have been a bad dream, but it appears that maybe it wasn't, because of what's going on now. Suddenly, Serena, who was in Heroes of Dream, just like she's in the Bubblina comic, and her shark goes up, ended up finding Zoe and decided to take advantage of her emotion, and make her into Darkina. That's how Darkina comes up in Heroes of Dreams. But like I say, instead of her human form being Shanice, her human form is Zoe. But Darkina is born, the Dark Princess of the Sky Atlantis. See, in Heroes of Dream, she, the published one, she wasn't a harpy. She was actually, I can't think which one is the female or the male. I remember I did know this when I was writing it, but they were called Shadows and the Musses, and they were like sort of guardian-like animals. Matter of fact, I even found out that there was a statue of these creatures in the Aladdin movie, the animated one. So, they're sort of guardian creatures, sort of like how the gargoyles are depicted as night guardians. So pretty much both the Shadows and the Musses are known as Sky Atlanteans. The Mer people, the mermen and mermaids, are the Ocean Atlanteans. And apparently there was a big war between the two fractions, much like, in the Dark World with the Harpies and Atlanteans. The sky and the ocean was at war with each other. But a prince from both the sky and the ocean decided, hey, this is enough. and got them to stop the war. They formed a peace treaty, but of course, a lot of time, in most cases, that's not always going to last forever. And Serena was the cause of trying to stir this up again. She captured the Sky Atlanteans. However, it seemed that Zoe had escaped in her egg form, and of course she was found by Riley and his mother, and was raised as one of their own. So now in her Darkina form, Serena tricks her with dark magic and taking advantage of her emotional state, and has her fight against Bubblina. There's a big battle with her, as well as also the other girls trying to protect her, but then it turns into a one-on-one between Bubblina and Darkina. However, the fight is stopped. Serena shows up, revealing, what I just told you about the backstory of the Sky and Ocean Atlanteans. And then the girls, Bubblina and Darkina, are all taken away from the area as a quick escape. Darkina is reverted back to Zoe and is no longer under Serena's control, but of course Zoe feels pretty bad about all this. The girls actually apologize about, suspecting that she was the Dark One, and they all say that we have to do something about Serena. The Prophet Merman, Mr. Morgan Freeman, I'm trying to think. I can't think of what his name was, but yeah. Anyway, he actually finds a way to revert where Zoe can transform into her true Sky Atlantean form. So Darkina was not the true form of her was not her true Sky Atlantean form. It was her Sky Atlantean form corrupted by Serena's dark magic. But now that she is not under the dark magic influence, her true form becomes Sunrisha, which that's a name that will play in Yumeko at some point, but possibly in a different way. Sunrisha teams up with Bubblina and her friends, and they take down Serena and pretty much save the day. That's the last that you hear of Darkina in Heroes of Dreams. So of course we know how Shanice came into play. Now we know how Flora, and also how Darkina was used once again. That pretty much was it as far as Flora and Shanice, aka Darkina. That's pretty much was a thing. So then, of course, now we're in the Yumeko series, where, of course, Shanice and Flora have made their way into the first book. Flora being a little fairy that apparently has a little bit of an interest in Samuel, as you've seen in the video, as well as also hinted at in the first book. And Shanice, well, pretty much clear that she's on the villainous side there with Ramon. So there is that. And one thing I definitely want to state about these two characters, they are actually, the way they are in Yumeko is actually based off of two of the VKs from Descendants. Flora is actually kind of based off of CJ, who was Captain Hook's daughter. However, they never revealed her mother in the Wicked World series that she appeared in, so speculation went around stating that she was probably born between Captain Hook and Tinkerbell. Make what you will of that, but yeah, so pretty much that was pretty much that was the inspiration for Flora in this version of her. As well as also Mal, the main character of the Descendants movies, daughter of Maleficent, is the inspiration for Shanice. And there's probably going to be some other inspirations drawing from the Descendant movies for some of the other kids that Ramon has, because the thing is, Ramon actually has a belief that since the whole source of Yumeko is from dreams and imagination, and not saying that adults don't have dreams and imagination, but mostly kids have more of it than the adults do. The adults have it, but the kids seem to have a bigger source of it, or in some cases, adults who are children at heart, like Bobby Brown, Like, how did you get by? That's because I'm a child at heart. Now bring my mama back so she can make me a snack. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty much that. And that's why Ramon wants to utilize the children, not so much destroy them, but utilize their dreams and imagination for his own purposes. And that's why he has kid followers there. And at the same time, while he may be battling against Hiko and his friends, he kind of at the same time is trying to, at some point, persuade them to be a part of his little organization as well. So there'll be more on that as the series goes on. So that's and also as well as more on Flora and Shanice. So that's pretty much what I got for now on it. There, it's a lot better than my first video. In my first attempt, a lot shorter than it, but I got right to the point. Didn't spend a whole lot of time, So definitely like what you heard and everything. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Definitely get some of our books like Yumeko, so you can follow along as they keep coming out and being read. When I go back to audio reading some more chapters, I will return to that. Might be a little while, but it will come. So, but at least it'll give you guys some time to get yourself a copy of this book, and don't forget to also get our other books that are available, and also super thanks or special thanks, and support us on that Patreon, just like the boy EJ Supreme. Definitely check out his channel. He's got a lot of. He's definitely. You wrestle fans, you definitely want to check out his WrestleMania videos. Also, be sure to check out my sister Casey's channel, because she's got some interesting stuff on there as well. Sort of a little mix of things there, but but definitely worth the look. Yep, go over there. Links in the description and everything that you can get to them. Matter of fact, I even got it in the playlist, just like it's an EJ playlist. EJS is also a playlist for Casey as well. Should be. Let's see, make sure so y'all know what to look for. So it should be labeled, let's see, playlist. Yeah, there we go. Videos from my sister Casey Hennigan. So yeah, definitely go to that. And of course, the other playlist to get the EJ the Supreme is the EJS channel, aka EJ the Supreme. So check it all out, along with everything else that's on this channel as well. Books, all that. Support us. And we will see y'all in the next video. Game Boy fans video. Not really, because the Game Boys because I don't think this would be on a Game Boy video, but I just had a moment with that commercial song. See you later. Wait, before you go, there was one thing I forgot to mention that I did say I was going to get to, but I forgot to mention this. I mentioned about that I didn't know Shanice's last name in the Dark Heroes of Dreams, but there was a fan trailer I did a while back on Miracle Comics channel that I did, where it was and of course the fan trailer was simply called Shanice Tyler. So Shanice Tyler was to be her full name. But the only thing was I forgot about that trailer when I wrote the Yumeko book here, and I ended up putting her name as Shanice Harper, and now it's published and a little too late for that. So yeah, so that's just what I wanted to say. I forgot to mention that, so now I've mentioned it. So yep, now you know. See you later, everybody.